Renault gave us the opportunity to test both Sport and Cup suspension configurations on the Megane RS 280's launch, as well as both manual and EDC gearboxes, although our impressions on the manual Cup were confined to the limits of a track, so we'll have to wait to discuss how the stiffer suspended car rides on the road. We should make it plain up front, however, that the Megane RS Sport has an amazingly supple and deft suspension setup that works quite spectacularly well over bumps and bad surfaces. But more of that shortly. The current Megane's cockpit makes for a decent departure point for a performance treatment, albeit one with some minor frustrations. The Megane RS 280's Alcantara Sport seats are good and supportive, and the driving position they grant is also good by class standards. You don't sit uncomfortably high and the controls are well located in front of you. Renault Sport's attempts at enriching the interior materials are mixed, though. The RS's red striped seatbelts and red trim accenting is bright and effective, but its part Alcantara Sport's steering wheel has fairly ordinary feeling leather where your hands rest on the grips, at 2:45, and soft suede at 6 and 12 o'clock, where you seem to touch it less. Equally odd are the car's part analog, part digital instruments, which consist of a square digital screen made up mainly of differently themed combinations of analog rev counter and digital speedo. The system's available screen space, however, is drastically curtailed by oversized analog fuel level and water temperature gauges on either side of it. One bigger screen, with temperature and fuel information you could call up when needed, or at least scale to your preference, would have been a much more intelligent layout. Details, perhaps. Still, they matter, especially since details also initially prevent you from enjoying the driving experience of the paddle shift-equipped car. The positioning and action of the shift paddles for the Megane RS 280's EDC gearbox are, by my reckoning, at least, plainly at fault here. Oh dear, I know, same record. But having been criticized so strongly for the Clio RS 200's cheap and flimsy-feeling paddles, it's amazing that Renault Sport should have repeated almost exactly the same offense with that car's new bigger brother.